John Denver. You ever hear a voice so pure, so peaceful, that it feels like a warm breeze rolling down a country road? That was John Denver, the golden-haired folk singer who defined an entire era of American music. But behind the soft voice and sunny songs, there was turbulence. And when his plane crashed into the Pacific Ocean in 1997, it wasn't just tragic, it was preventable. And darker than most people ever knew. Let's go back to where it all started. He was born Henry John Deutschendorf Jr. on New Year's Eve, 1943 in Roswell, New Mexico. Yeah, the UFO place. His dad, Dutch, was a decorated Air Force pilot who set speed records in bombers. Flying ran in the family. But being a military kid meant John moved constantly. Arizona, Alabama, Texas. Never enough time to make friends, always the new kid. At 11 he got a gift that changed everything. An old Gibson guitar built in 1910 from his grandmother. For a boy who never stayed anywhere long, that guitar felt permanent. Stable. Music gave him a place to belong, even when the world around him kept shifting. Soon he was singing with a boys' chorus in Tucson, learning harmony and gaining confidence on stage. By high school he was already playing gigs. He tried college, Texas Tech, studying architecture, but he knew deep down that drafting buildings wasn't the dream. So he dropped out, packed his bags, and chased music to Los Angeles. He also dropped his last name. Deutschendorf didn't exactly scream folk star, and chose Denver, after the Colorado mountains he loved so much. Then came the break. In 1965, he beat out 250 singers to become the new frontman for the Chad Mitchell Trio. That job gave him national exposure and time on the road, learning how to perform and how to write songs people actually cared about. One of those songs? Leaving on a Jet Plane. Peter, Paul, and Mary made it famous. By 1969 it was a #1 hit. Denver had arrived, but nobody knew his name yet. That changed in the early 70s. In 1971 he released Poems, Prayers, and Promises, featuring a track that almost didn't make it. Take Me Home, Country Roads. The first batch of records had sound issues, and it almost tanked before it started. But Denver's manager pushed it on local radio and it caught fire. By late summer it was everywhere. It eventually sold over 1 million copies. West Virginia adopted it as an official state anthem decades later. Not bad for a song that almost flopped. Hits kept coming. Rocky Mountain High, Sunshine on My Shoulders, Any Song, Thank God I'm a Country Boy, I'm Sorry. Between 1973 and 1975, he was unstoppable. 4 #1 singles, multiple platinum albums. One greatest hits album even outsold Elvis. His look, blonde hair, glasses, Western shirts, became iconic. He wasn't just a singer. He was a symbol of something softer, sweeter, and simpler in American music. And he wasn't just big in the US. His charm reached global audiences. In the UK, when critics shrugged him off, his team went straight to the people with TV specials. It worked. He built a massive fan base in Europe and beyond. He even crossed political lines, touring the Soviet Union during the Cold War and performing after the Chernobyl disaster. He toured China in the 90s, where his songs were already being sung in schools. He wasn't just an artist, he became a kind of cultural bridge. But for all the peace he sang about, John Denver's personal life was stormy. His first marriage to Annie Martel seemed like a dream. He even wrote Annie's song for her in 10 minutes. They adopted 2 kids. But the spotlight got hot. Fame changed everything. They divorced in 1982, and that's when stories started to leak. One infamous tale? After Annie cut down trees he loved at their Aspen home, he didn't yell. He showed up with a chainsaw and sliced their furniture in half. So, if this story gave you chills, hit that like button. Subscribe for more untold stories of music legends. And maybe, next time you're driving home with the windows down, put on some John Denver and let the wind carry your voice. Because even when he fell from the sky, his music never stopped flying.